In this video, we are going to compare Samsung Dauda, who got his first Mr. Olympia title in 2024, and Chris Bumstead, who got his sixth Mr. Olympia title in classic division and got retirement, and Keone Pearson, who is two-time winner in 212 category this year and 2023, and Martin Fitzwater, who made his debut this year and got fourth place in Mr. Olympia. So we are going to compare these four athletes, and two of them, Chris Bumstead and Martin Fitzwater, are going to compete in Prague Pro, which is after 2 or 3 days. So let's see who is going to win this comparison. And you can see the Samsung Dauda's midsection. He has improved his midsection from last 2 years, but still he needs to improve more from midsection, and his squats are looking good. He has improved his squats in size and conditioning as well, and overall he's carrying a better symmetry, the better v-taper, shoulders, arms, lats, everything is looking good this year from last 2 years. And Chris Bumstead, as we all know, he always come ripped on the stage, and you can see the waist, the lats, serratus, interior, quads, shoulders, arms, chest, everything is just styrated and perfect. He got the perfect balance for classic physique, but this time he's going to open, so we are considering size also. And Keone Pearson is looking complete, although he is competing in 212, but still you can see the v-taper is very impressive. Even you can compare this with Samsung Dauda. His v-taper is so impressive. So according to the size, yes, Samsung Dauda can beat Keone Pearson, but if Keone Pearson come with good size, then uh, I would say that he can beat Samsung Dauda if he put more muscle mass and come in open category. And on the other hand, we see Martin Fitzwater. So the picture is not very exposed, so you can see the size, the quad size. He has massive quads. You can compare his quads with Samsung Dauda. The size is equal, but somehow Samsung Dauda's conditioning in quads are better than Martin Fitzwater. Samsung Dauda winning this pose, and second I'll give this to Martin Fitzwater. Third, Chris Bumstead. Third, Keone Pearson because of the beautiful symmetry, and fourth, Chris Bumstead. Now look at the any side chest. So in this pose, we have seen Samsung Dauda improving from glutes and hamstring side, because last year glutes were looking soft, but this year he has worked on it, and you can see the midsection is also looking good. So overall he's with good balance this year. And you can see Chris Bumstead, no one can beat him in this pose in classic division, but it's open, so the size also matters. So if you compare the size, you'll see that Keone and Martin Fitzwater has bigger size than Chris Bumstead. And look at the glute and hamstrings of Keone Pearson. He is just phenomenal. You can see the midsection, striations in chest. And we see Martin Fitzwater. All the pictures are not nice from Fitzwater, but he was conditioned. Glutes and hamstrings are not looking that impressive in this image, but still we have saw him in stage, he was looking good. So I will give this pose to Samsung Dauda. Second, I will give this to Keone Pearson, and third, Martin Fitzwater, and fourth, Chris Bumstead. So let's talk about front double biceps. So Samsung Dauda carrying a good shape in this pose. You can see the midsection, the vacuum is good, the arms are big, lats are good, quads are very impressive from last 2 years. He has improved a lot in quad section. You can see the striations, the sartorius muscle. So he's definitely improved his quads. And Chris Bumstead, you can see the perfect symmetry, the tiny waist, and you can see the upper body. He's looking good, conditioned, quads are very conditioned. And Keone Pearson, you can see the v-taper. In v-taper he's so impressive. You can see the v-taper better than Samsung Dauda. He is having a better v-taper than Samsung Dauda, and quads are so conditioned, so aligned, a perfect shape of his quads. And size is not as big as Samsung Dauda, but still you can see the conditioning is on top level. And we can see the Martin Fitzwater. The height difference is not much in both of them, but you can see the size, the thickness. So Martin Fitzwater has bigger quads, thighs than Keone Pearson, but still Keone Pearson is looking more conditioned So I will give this first pose to Samsung Dauda. Second, I will give this to Keone Pearson because of his beautiful symmetry and conditioning. Although size is not that big against Martin Fitzwater, but still I am going with Keone Pearson. And third, I will give this to Martin Fitzwater because of his huge size. And fourth, I will give this to Chris Bumstead. So let's talk about back double biceps. So in this pose, we can see the improvements of Samsung Dauda from last 2 years. He has put more muscle mass in back, more conditioning, more depth in muscles, and tiny waist and hamstrings, glutes. Glutes are improved, way improved than last 2 years. Not as good as Derek's or Hardy Chopin's glutes, but still he has improved from his last 2 years. And you can see the Chris Bumstead. So he needs to work on his back if he wants to compete in open, because the back is not dense. Thickness should be more in back. You can see traps are good, but he needs to put more muscle on or muscle mass on his lats. And you can see the glutes and hamstrings area is good. And watch Keone Pearson physique, perfect physique, perfect V taper. Glutes, hamstrings are just phenomenal, I would say. You can see the size, so perfect. You can see the depth in upper back, the V taper. He's carrying a perfect balance. So, and Martin Fitzwater, the back is so dense. You can see the hamstrings, glutes area. He's looking very impressive in this pose, and looking big as well. So but according to beautiful aesthetics, I will give this to Samsung Dauda. Second, I will give this to Martin Fitzwater. Third, I will give this to Keone Pearson. And fourth, Chris Bumstead. Let's talk about most muscular. So I couldn't find the pose of Martin Fitzwater, so we are going with this pose. So you can see the Samsung Dauda's physique in this pose, and he even beat Hardy Chopin this year with this pose. So that was strange, and it was controversial as well, but still he beat him in that pose. And you can see he's looking good, big, conditioned from midsection. Overall, he's looking perfect and big. So he's definitely winner in this pose again. But let's talk about other three athletes. So we will compare only Keone and Chris Bumstead in this pose. And if you see the arms of Keone, they are looking a little soft, flat, and Chris Bumstead is looking striated. He is looking hard, and you can see the quads. Quads are harder, very hard. And Keone is looking good. He's overall looking good, but you can see the midsection. His muscle genetics are not good in ab area. You can see the dent inside the middle abs, but it's not up to him, so it's a muscle genetic. But still, you can see arms are looking bigger than shoulders. Chest is good. Quads are just phenomenal. The depth in quads are just looking. He's looking just unreal. So I will give this second to Keone Pearson, and third I will give this to Chris Bumstead. And so Martin Fitzwater is looking good, but I couldn't find the perfect pose for this comparison. And overall, I think so if Chris Bumstead wants to win in Prague Pro against Martin Fitzwater and Shaun, he needs to put more muscle mass. And if he come with good muscle mass and better muscle mass than this year Mr. Olympia, so he can definitely beat Shaun. And it's going to be very tough fight between Martin Fitzwater and Chris Bumstead. So I think Martin Fitzwater can beat him, but let's see what happens after 2 days, what is going to happen at Prague Pro. So this is up for the comparison. So as we all know that Samsung Dauda is first, second is Martin Fitzwater, third is Keone Pearson, and fourth is Chris Bumstead.